Good morning. I'm Pete Najarian. This is The Take on this Monday morning. I apologize. I was busy on Friday, a lot of personal matters going on. So let's go back to last Thursday. Last Thursday, the markets absolutely exploded to the upside, up over 500 points on the Dow, 250 points on the NASDAQ. Had an absolutely phenomenal day. Tech, semiconductors, that was really the leadership, specifically semiconductors. They were up about 3%, had a really awesome day. But we also had materials, industrials. It was a lot of participation. We get into Friday. We're still in the midst of all this heavy duty earnings that we started to kick off. And again, had a really, really strong start and finish to the day, actually finishing up 380 points on the Dow, 70 some odd points on the NASDAQ. A really, really impressive move once again, backing it up. And earnings, as we talked about, we're always looking forward. And that's what last week was all about, looking forward to the next earnings and the next earnings. And that's exactly what we were seeing. That was how things were playing out. We broke back underneath that 20 on the volatility index. And there we were trading somewhere between the 15s and 16s on Friday. Gives you a really good idea of just how much volatility really started to come down. Now, how about those volumes? We talk about it each and every day for all the right reasons, because the derivatives world is absolutely on fire. 47.7 million contracts trading on Friday. Just an absolute monster day. So what led that? Well, Tesla, a little over 2 million contracts. You look over at Apple, about 1.3 million contracts. Amazon, which rarely is in the category of that top 5, even top 10, that was number 3, 820,000 contracts in Amazon as well. So just a lot of paper, a lot of options trading, the derivatives market on fire. We had a couple of slower days last week that was a little surprising. We had a little bit of a break there. Sorry about that. Consumer discretion after Amazon. I take a look at some of those names. Target, monstrous day. Home Depot, Lowe's, Disney, all had a pretty powerful day. Then you look over at the financials. Goldman Sachs leading. Goldman Sachs having an absolutely beautiful day, almost 4% to the upside. As a matter of fact, when you focus down on a few of these different things, not only was crude running, and we've talked about energy time and time again, but crude up and over 82. Take a look at something like a Freeport-McMoRan, really a monstrous day, up about 4%. We've talked about copper. We've talked a lot about what's going on in this entire space when you're looking at copper and oil and just about every other kind of commodity. Take a look at what happened with Alcoa. Alcoa had a monster day, 15% to the upside. Amazon, we talked about that volume there. That was up about 3%. American Express was strong. Capital One reclaimed that 170 level. So we get through earnings last week. We start more again this week, but it seems as if the market's always looking ahead, but always looking somewhere. The markets seem to be focused much, much more upon the inflation concerns that everybody's been talking about. We've been talking about the price of oil, 38 to 82. Now today in the 83s. You take a look at copper and some of the moves that we've seen there. Just take a look at inflation. We talk about labor prices, all of the different things. That seems to have taken over a little bit today. We started the day pre-market down about 150 points. We did improve. We were less than 100 points for a little bit, and now we've slipped right back down on the Dow. The NASDAQ's actually performed much better. The NASDAQ was down about 50 points early on, started to rally a little bit, kind of pulled back right around green and red, just kind of flashing back and forth. Last I looked, it was up about 15 or 20 points. So the NASDAQ definitely outperforming what we are seeing right now in the Dow itself. Volatility, well, we're back down towards that 16, 17, which actually was a little bit of a spike up this morning, especially with the markets getting a little bit of that selling pressure. But you look over at the 10-year trading right around 1.6. Tells you all you really need to know. The financials having a pretty decent day. They were negative early. They moved to up about 0.5%. They've been kind of moving back and forth a little bit. So that's something that's part of the fluctuation of what we're seeing. What's not moving up and down, it's just going up. Energy. You take a look at what's really leading. Energy was up a little, close to 1% early on. Last I looked, it was up about 1.3%. Obviously, these things are always moving at an amazing pace, but industrials, materials, all of that, definitely the areas that we've been watching very closely. Take a look at just a few of the unusuals, not unusuals necessarily, but some of the moves that we are seeing. Occidental up 6%. I'm looking at Apache. That was up about 5%. I look at other names like Devon and Marathon Oil in this case, up 3.5% or more, just having a really great day. Disney, on the other hand, some commentary out there about Disney. Disney had a pretty decent day last week. Today, down about 3%, talking about some of the slowing in Disney Plus and some of the different demographics that aren't really performing the way folks would like. Had a couple of different folks out there either cutting their price targets or a downgrade on the stock. Chinese names, at least early on, we're definitely trading very, very nicely, with Baidu really starting off the day really well. I got two unusuals and I'm out of here. Fuel Cell, that's number one. FCEL, this name was trading just a little bit over $8, right? October 22s, that's this Friday. That's the expiration. Very, very short. 7,800 of those calls, 46 cents up to about 60 cents for those calls. So a fairly inexpensive, but can they move? Can this stock make that kind of a move to the upside? We've seen it in the past. We'll see if it happens this time. Facebook is number two. Yes, I said Facebook. Stock was trading just underneath 329. We had a buyer of the 335 calls that expire this week, October 22nd, 275 up to 375, 11,000 of those. That was the very first trade that hit on unusual options activity today for Market Rebellion. So we've got a lot. As a matter of fact, we were just talking before I came on, a lot of activity early on. We'll see how that all plays out. We're seeing the EV space. We're seeing a little bit of everything. So very, very interesting start today. I am on the halftime report today. I'll see you with Scott Wapner and the guys. I'm also on WCCO radio right after 10 o'clock this morning, Central Time. So I got a really busy morning going, but I'm pretty excited about that, as you can tell. Folks, have a great day of trading.